Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? I'm Keith of Keith and Kay, my little Filipino vlog. I just dropped Kay off at work. She's at work right now. And I thought I'd just share something with you before I go pick her up this afternoon. And it's a story. Actually, it's not really a story. It's just something that happened yesterday that I experienced. I have a cousin. She's been adopted into the family about 60 years ago. We knew each other since we were kids. And she was adopted by my grandfather's brother. So we're maybe second cousins down the line somewhere there. And we got a chance to know each other very, very well. And she's an Indian. She's an Indian, and I just found out yesterday she was a Cherokee Indian. Now, I'm part Indian too. I was told I was Blackfoot, and also have white man in me too. My grandfather's mother was black, and her mother was a slave. But she married his mother. She married a white man. He looked like a Quaker. I seen pictures of him in the whole album. Looked like a Quaker sitting up there in a cart, and with a beard. And she was a dark skinned, very dark skinned lady, African, I guess African descent. And her mother was a slave. So the Quaker married her. So I don't know if he's a slave to her or what. I don't know the whole story about that. I never found out, but I have seen pictures of them together in a cart with the horse and buggy, and I was told that was my grandfather's mother and father. But anyways, make a long story short, I got the chance to meet my cousin, spend time with my cousin, because she grew up without us even communicating that much. We got older and later on in life, her parents died, and we started searching for each other. We finally found each other. She didn't live too far away. But when I went over to the house, he invited me over, me and Kay over. We went over there and we had dinner, and just had a lot of good discussion. Met her husband, who's Herman, and by the way, he just passed away. I went to his funeral yesterday. This is what I'm leading up to. And I've noticed that, to make a long story short, I noticed that she used to go to powwow. That's an Indian powwow with them on certain occasions in Arizona or wherever they have a powwow out. She used to put it on Facebook. I used to see them dance around in feathered headgear and all that stuff, I don't know what tribe they all were. Probably different tribes having a powwow together. But anyway, unfortunately, Herman, her husband, who was a great artist too, he went to college for that. He was also adopted when he was a kid. And I don't know too much about his life or childhood life or anything, but he did mention that. And he worked at the LA Unified School District. He graduated with a bachelor degree in artist, and also he was a computer technician. He works on computers. But anyway, he passed away about 3 weeks ago, which is very, very devastating to the family. Very good man. I had a chance to meet him. And so she invited, and she told me where the funeral was going to be at. So I said, sure, I'll make it if I could. And I went yesterday. And it was at a church, All Nations Christian Baptist Church. She was a Christian, I guess. and she the funeral was very unique. I've never seen anything like it before. But they had the casket there. They brought in, and they rub you down with some, rub the guests down, the family, with some type of, I guess, some type of powder, a little bit on the back, and then they have feathers. They would say some type of Indian language, and then they sit down. Of course, I greeted her and hugged her and everything. And then they have the casket there, laying there. And then someone, this was a woman in particular, got up there and sang some type of song with smoke coming out and doing feathers, sticking around like that on it and everything. Very, very strange. I never experienced that before, but it was a funeral. So, very, very odd. So they have like they do a regular funeral, and the preacher get up there and say a few words. We all said a few words. I got him said a few words, and but it's just the way the whole funeral went. And then after the funeral, we went to the graveyard without any type of motorcade. We had to go there ourselves. I just happened to know where it was at. Went to the graveyard and got out, went and sat where they brought the cat. You know, they bring the casket up front and the family sits behind it. Well, I was in the rear. I took my walker because my knees were kind of shaky a little bit. So I'm sitting there. And I saw a guy look just like Herman, the deceased. And I said, "Are you Herman's brother? Are you?" He said, "No, we're just real good friends. And my wife was a friend of his and all that." So he introduced to his wife, and they were just good friends. But they were Indians, I can tell, long hair. And I asked him, I said, "What tribe are you from?" He said, "Oh, we're from Cherokee fight." I said, "Oh, I'm from." I was told I was Blackfoot. That's all I was told when I was young. Because my grandmother was an Indian from Kansas. She was from the Blackfoot tribe. And her husband, like I just explained to you a while ago, my grandfather was half white and half slave. I guess a black slave. His mother was charcoal black. You know, and her father's and her parents were slaves. So anyway, you know, we got to talking and everything, and at the funeral, I'm sitting in the rear, and he said a few words and everything, what you'll see, and then he walked around the casket laying some type of black stuff on it, had smoke and sang and singing some type of, I don't know what language, Indian language, with feathers, walking around saying something with smoke and all that. Very odd. I've never seen that before, but anyway. Then he said something. Everybody stood up, and he started playing the tom-tom, boom, 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 boom. And he was saying something. Then they'll turn to the east. Then they'll turn to the west. They're facing me, and turn to the south, and then they'll turn to the north. I never seen it. Everybody sitting in front of the casket. So I guess they were Indians. And I feel so odd because I'm just sitting there. I didn't know what to do, you know. And they're facing me, and I said, "Oh God, what should I do?" I'm in a walker. And then they turned all the way around and faced him again. So it was very unique, very different, very strange. And I just like to share that moment with you if I could. I'm not going to show him in his casket. I did take a picture of it. I don't want to show that. But it was very unique. So I'm going to show it to you guys right now and tell me what you think. If there are any Indians out there that can identify with that, comment below and let me know. But I am part Blackfoot Indian, and I do have Caucasian blood in me. I guess it's Caucasian. He was a Quaker. My grandfather's mother was a slave, but she was married to this white guy who he looked white like a Quaker, like I said, long beard and all that. So if you guys are ever experienced anything like that, let me comment. Let me even know. I never have. All I was told growing up that I had Blackfoot Indian blood in me and white blood in me. That's all. So the Indians were already here in this country. Slaves came over on a slave ship. So anyway, you think about that. Yeah, so stand by.
Sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand the mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am loose. You raise me up to more than I can be.
This is my wife, Dawn.
Hello, Don.
Hi there.
Oh, thank you.
I think I got enough sun.
You gotta look out for each other. I appreciate it. And relationships.
I'm attending a funeral. My cousin Christine and her husband Herman Padilla, who passed away about 3-4 weeks ago. Sort of Indian style.
You know, the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it says, to every
This is an Indian type Christian ceremony. Okay, there you have it. That's how it was. Kind of strange, huh? But they did a lot more. I couldn't video everything I tried to get, but I come to the conclusion I was the only family member there. Only her friends and Indian friends were all there, and I could tell they were Indians by the way they were dressed, their long hair and all that stuff, and the way that they talk English, you know, but they kept their culture alive. And it was a great culture. I guess when I watched the powwow and all that, they kept that part of the culture alive. I never have experienced that powwow or anything, even though I would love to have went, but she did. So anyway, you guys, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And I just want to share that with you. It's something that I've never seen before. But I would like to know the Indian side of me, the Blackfoot Indian side, the history of it. My grandmother, who was Blackfoot, died in 1957 or 6, and it was never mentioned again. My mother never talked that much about it, just told me what it was, or what I was part of. But anyway, you guys have a great day, and I hope you like this little video, but it was something I wanted to share, that's all. See you later.